Hey Pixies! I thought I'd get on here today and show you how I remove my nails after using Peel Base. So this one already popped off and I put gel under. So that's just some gel just to help keep that nail strong. Otherwise my nails would break. So I do put a gel base on and then look how easy that just pops off. All intact. My nail with the gel. Now this one's on a little bit tighter. I don't know, this one hasn't started to lift or anything. So this one might be a little bit more difficult to get off. I just run along the edge there to break the seal because I don't put Peel Base the whole way around. I basically put the Peel Base on the tip of my nail so that it doesn't rip that nail whenever it comes off. Otherwise, it sometimes splits my nail. So I put Peel Base basically all right here, leaving the edge with just my dip powder or gel, whatever I'm using that day. So that way, whenever it comes off, it'll come off easy, but won't, hey rascal, but won't rip my nail, hopefully. But if I put it the whole way on, they'll pop off usually sometimes within a couple of hours, and I like to keep my manis on for a few days. So this way, this one is on really good. Okay, so I'm gonna skip that one for right now. This one I know is loose. If you see my cat there, that's Rascal, and he's silly, aren't you, buddy? Everybody's interested. For some reason, when my ring light's out, everybody comes around. So he's definitely interested. What are you doing, bud? Okay, well, you can usually hear it start to crack a little, but look how perfect these come off. This is the Mani Boss Dip Powder Peel Base that I used for these, and it's just so easy to pop them off. And this one though, I might have put on a little bit too good. So I might actually have to show you what I do when I can't get it. Oh, I might have got it right there. Yep, there we go. So you have to be careful if you're using gel. I don't know if you can see, but see that kind of started to pick up the gel there and take it with it. That would be bad because that could damage my real nail. That's why I like to put the gel on, but you have to be really careful whenever you're popping your nails off because it can take that gel with it. And whenever that happens to me, I soak my nails a little bit and then I start to use a really rough nail file to remove it. And then usually after a few minutes, I can just pop them off like normal. So that's what it looks like whenever I take off my nails. Not 100% sure I am taking these ones off yet, so I'm gonna leave these ones on for right now. I was swatching so I have some color there, but that's what I do. And then to prep my nails, because I am doing a manicure on this hand today. So what I do is I take a nail file and a buffing block. This is a little buffing block that got sent to me with my double dip kit. And I just kind of buff because I don't put gel the whole way on my nail either. So what I do is I fill my nail about the same as what I would put the Peel Base. I put gel on my nail and I make sure my tips are completely covered because like I said, if my nail were to pop off, the gel protects my natural nail from breaking. So I'll go ahead and put that on most of my nail. I kind of do it like that. And then I put my Peel Base on just past that. Because if I put it exactly the same spot as I put my gel, it definitely tries to rip the gel up. So I put the Peel Base just beyond that a little bit. And then I put my Pro Base or gel, whatever I'm using for my base dip or gel method, I put that on the entire nail. That way, like I said, it just lasts a little bit longer. Then I can go usually 2-3 days without having a pop off because I've had pop offs that are a little bit embarrassing. So I like to try to go at least 2 or 3 days with one manicure. That way I can make sure I get all my photos and everything like that for Instagram. So to prep my nail then for another manicure, I buff it so that everything's smooth. That way I don't have a ledge where the gel is, since I don't put it on the full nail. So I go ahead and buff each nail. And I'll let you watch me buff. Okay, so I buffed and filed the tops of my nail. I took those little cuticle trimmers and I cut off that piece that was lifted. I don't want that to be on there, and then I just kind of buffed that edge right there. So then what I do is I take my cuticle pusher. I got this on Amazon. I'll link everything below for you. And I just kind of push back my cuticle. I do it very gently. So I'm not really pushing too hard on the cuticle. And then if you have one of these, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's like a rougher edge right here. So whenever I push down, I kind of scrape that along to get some of that excess off. And like I said, I was swatching, so I have green dip powder there on my nail. And I just then take the sharper end and lightly go along. I'm just trying to get off, see, some of this is product, so I'm just trying to get that off of my cuticle area and get off any of the dead skin that might be there, because you want that to be as nice and smooth as possible. That way you don't have problems with your mani lifting, especially if you like to keep it on for a week or two. And I used to keep my manicures on for about 2 to 3 weeks at a time. And now that I change them every 2 to 3 days, I don't need as much prepping. I'm just cutting this little bit of skin right there. You want to be very careful with your cuticles. But I get extremely dry cuticles, so I'm always applying cuticle oil, and it does help. But it's January here in Pennsylvania and it's very cold, so I do have pretty dry cuticles right now. And like I said, some of this is product from filing or my last manicure that I just took off. So I'm just kind of running that along the edge and gently tucking my cuticle in. If you have anything on your nail like this right here, this is product, but anything on your nail like that, whenever you put on your next manicure, can cause it to lift. And then once it starts to lift, you can get bacteria in there, or it'll get caught on stuff. So you really want to make sure that that's nice and smooth and that you don't have any dry skin or products left over. But you do not want to go too hard on your cuticle. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really just kind of focusing on this nail there and not so much the cuticle, because you can really irritate your cuticles and cause them to bleed if you go too heavy on them. So you just want to be really careful and only take off what you absolutely need to, and do it a little bit at a time. Because like I said, you just don't want to irritate your cuticles, get them infected or anything like that. Now, I do know some people that I talk to use a cuticle remover cream or gel. I've never tried that, but you know, see what works best for you. And if that's something that you like, then use that. But just be very gentle with them. You don't want to cause them to bleed or get infected, like I said. So just be really careful with your cuticle area and treat it nice. And I don't know if you can see, I'm just kind of gently taking a tiny piece there, and I just kind of twist it and pull it off. So that's what I do for the prep, and then after I have my cuticles taken care of, I just lightly file them however I want them to be shaped. This one I broke a couple of weeks ago, and I was using builder gel to extend it, but I kind of got tired of using the builder gel, so I'm just kind of letting it grow out. So I have one little one right there, and then these ones I think I'm going to trim down a little bit. So I just shape them. Now, when you do dip powder, it will kind of fill in your nail and make it bigger than it actually is. It makes it appear bigger because that dip powder kind of expands and goes over the sides of your nail. So what I do is I make my nail a little bit more narrow than I like it to be, because then whenever I apply my dip powder, it's usually pretty good. Because like I said, it does expand and make your nail look a little bit bigger. So I usually go a little bit narrow, more so than I would if I was like doing regular nail polish or anything like that. So I will make it kind of narrow, and whenever you're filing, you want to look at it from all angles. So you want to look at it straight on, especially my index fingers are a little crooked, so I really look at it straight on and try to see if it's straight that way, and then I will flip my nail and look at it this way and see what I think about it that way as well. So just look at your nail all different angles and see if it looks straight, and this one does not, so I need to try to even this out a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty good for that one. I'm going to go ahead and speed through these other three and come back for my next step. Okay, so now that I've reshaped them, I don't usually have a lot to do because I do my nails so frequently that they never get too much further than what I want them to be or too messy. What I do next is I take a alcohol prep pad. I buy these in a box. I get these at Walmart. There's 100 pads in here, and I think they're less than $2. I use these off and on throughout my manicure every single time I do a new mani. And I just kind of wipe everything down. this will get all the dust off and make it nice and clean so that you can really look at it and see your shape. Does everything look good? And I think we're pretty good. So the next thing that I do to prep is I take one of my gels. These are my favorite gels that I have. I got these off of Amazon. They do not look this way anymore. They're in different packaging. I love these wooden handles that they have, so if I get another bottle, which I probably will because like I said, these are my favorite gels, I will probably try to put this cap onto the new bottle. However, this is the base coat and the top coat, and what I do is I put a layer of the base coat on. So in case you were wondering, this is my lamp that I use, and I got this off Amazon as well, so I will link this below. Like I said, everything that I use in the video I'll link below, but this is the lamp that I use and I really like it. It's never given me an issue. I think I got it for, oh, let's see, I think it was less than $20. So I'm gonna take my base coat and I'm going to apply this. Like I said, I don't apply it to the entire nail, so I can kind of see this is where I went to last time. So I'll probably go just beyond that and then make sure I'm covering my sides and tips because that's what I really want to protect if my nail were to pop off. And the reason that we're putting the base coat on first is because I have applied just the top coat, but that doesn't work as well for me. So I've kind of played around with some different ways to do this, and this seems to be the best way that I've found at least. But my nails are kind of small, so it's hard to do just a small portion of them, but we're gonna try. We just do our best. So as long as you're doing your best, that's all you can do, right? So right here, where I'm going right now, that's exactly where I put the gel before. I'm gonna go slightly beyond that. And then of course, make sure my edges towards the top and the top are covered. So I'm going to cure this for about 30 seconds. Okay, so we cured it for 30 seconds, and now I'm going to put my base coat away. And I'm going to get out my top coat. And I'm going to put my top coat exactly where I just put the base coat. So I can see where it's shiny, and I'm just applying this right where my base coat was. I just love this Modelones gel. It is so beautiful and shiny, and I have used the Revel gel for this same process, and it did not go as well. I do like the Revel gel. I have used that for top coats in the past and base coats. I have base coat, top coat, and matte, and it's fine whenever I'm using dip powder with it. However, for some reason, whenever I use that with the peel base, it just did not work well for me. So I'm not sure why, but this Modelones seems to work best for at least me. So I'm gonna cure this one then for 30 seconds as well. Okay, so I actually ended up curing that for about 45 seconds. So that's what my nails look like right now. As you can see, hopefully you can tell there's a matte part here, and it kind of has a thin line on the side up to about here, and then a good bit of space right here. Like I said, I just like that to be open so that I have a ledge I can grab with the peel base. When I was putting the gel the whole way down, I was grabbing the gel and everything. So if I put that ledge there, then I don't tend to grab the gel. So what I'm gonna do now is show you this. So this is my Mani Boss peel base, and I do have the I'm not sure if that's how you say it, the Ready for Takeoff one, and it's fine. I didn't have a whole lot of success with it, but this one is $10 and it's amazing. That's what I used to get these off, and they came off in perfect little pieces, as you can see. The other one popped off as well in a full piece, but it happened at work, so I have that one sitting over there on my table. But they come off perfectly intact as one whole piece. So what you do with the peel base then is I apply it pretty much exactly where I put the gel. except I just go tiny bit beyond that. And I make sure I coat my tips good because I don't want it to break my nail. The reason I ended up with this shape on these nails is because when I was still experimenting with the peel base, I had accidentally put the peel base on a little too thin because I was experimenting with it, and it ended up ripping my nail at the corner when it came off. So I make sure I coat my ends really good in hopes that it doesn't break anything. Okay, so then all you do is wait for this to dry. It takes about 3 minutes. It does not take long at all. Once it's completely dry to the touch, I'll kind of touch it. If it's still a little tacky, I let it sit for another minute or two. As soon as it's dry, then you can start your manicure. So I hope that this video helped you. If you have any questions, please leave them below, or you can find me on Instagram at DippingPixie. Please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up if it helped you, and I will see you in the next one.